All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 18 of the Fun Time Super Terrific Happy Hour. Welcome, Chandler.
Welcome, Joey.
It's a little weak one. It was a little weak bottle. Bottles aren't
Well,
as good.
I'm drinking these minis right now. I can always pop another one. You can hear that.
Ugh. Boy.
Oh, those are my Lego man. So, I woke up today, sir, and I was like, "Yeah, this is the last day. Then we're on break." And I was like, "Wait a minute, we got one more day." I was like, "Oh, yeah." That's what happens. Obviously, you can tell. It's like, yeah, I sound sick. That's what happens when you don't feel 100%. You don't, you're not all there. And you're like, it took a while to like process. And I was like, "Oh, nuts." It's like we still got another day.
Well, dude, I had like the opposite almost. Like I sat there and last week and this week, like it was Thursday and like both times, I'm like, just kind of feeling like, oh, okay, it's been a long week. It's taking forever. And then I'm like, and then tomorrow we got to do, and I'm like, today's Thursday. And I'm like, oh, crap, I thought it was Wednesday. I'm like, hey, we got one more day. So I'm like, sweet. And I don't know where, like, I got lost. Like, I guess, like, Monday, Tuesday just felt real long. And so I was like, I don't know.
Yesterday felt like we had our field trip yesterday, and man, I came back home and I wanted to take like a 30-minute nap. I think I woke up at like 2.5 hours later, and I was like, "Holy cow!" It's like, yes, I needed it, but we'll talk more about that here shortly.
Speaking of field trips, I went on a field trip today as like acting admin.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot of like structure as far as like the people supervising. And so like I'm on a bus with one other person and 31 kids, right?
Yeah.
Counted they get in the bus. Counted them when they sat on the bus. We roll out, go to location 1, get on the bus to roll to location 2. I'm like counting 31. Get on the bus at location 2 to go home. Like, we got them all. Yep, should be 33. And I'm like, 30, almost 33. Almost 33. He's like, oh yeah, my 22, and they gave me 11 from the other class. And I'm like, we started on the bus with 31. Oh, did we? Okay then. And I'm like, I'm all, is everybody else on the other bus there? Like, are y'all checking, or y'all just like, we got enough of them?
What grade was it?
5th. So I got to go with my youngest.
Okay. No, yesterday when I went, because speaking of that, it reminds me. So I always have the buddy system, right? I was like, yo, this is you sit with that buddy on the bus, and you're with that buddy where you go. We were at the museum, and we all stayed together as a big class. But parents were with us, and if you've ever been to the museum, there's a lot of big space depending on where you go.
Yeah.
And, like messing with the exhibits. But we went from like one room that we started at to the second room, which is just right across the hall. And then I was getting everybody together so we go downstairs. And I walk around. I'm like getting kids around. I was like, "Hey, go!" I'm trying to get them to stand in one spot so I can get everybody else right. And then like we went downstairs. Well, I didn't realize this at the time because 2 kids didn't really listen to me. And we go down to the third little room, and I'm not. Well, I started counting, and then I'm like, my count's not 20. And I was just like, so then I started thinking, who am I missing? Who am I missing? And I'm just walking around. I'm like, and then I finally figured out which 2 kids I was missing. And I still keep walking around because it's like the last thing you want to do is just like tell somebody. But I finally had to ask a couple of parents. I was like, hey, I'm missing so and so. Can you go back upstairs and look for them, please? And yeah, like I said, I felt crazy because this had never happened. And we got the 2 kids, and I was talking to some of the parents, today because they came and gave us lunch, teacher appreciation type stuff, right, for the break. And they said they're like, I don't know how you do it, and I was like, you don't understand. Yesterday was so crazy, but I was just like, we talked about the buddy system, and the kids, like so many of the kids just forgot about it. Like one of the ones I was talking to, like, I was talking to your daughter and her buddy, and both of them I was like, hey, where's your buddy at? And I saw both of them. They're like in the same area, but they're not next to each other. Yeah. And I'd be like, where's your buddy at? And they're like, I don't know. And then I go talk to the other one. Where's your buddy? I don't know. And I was like, you don't get it. You don't understand what the buddy system means. You're supposed to stay together. But
You're like, I lost my buddy. I don't even know who it was.
yeah, you're like, who? But so anyway, today's December 15th. It's Cat Herders Day. And this, it's kind of funny is I posted on Facebook that I was going on a field trip, and I wrote on there I'm leaving with 20 kids, question mark, question mark, question mark, being like a joke, kind of like what you're saying. Is like, I think we got this, ready. And then someone replied back, they're like, I wonder if that's worse than herding cats. And so when I saw it's Cat Herders Day, I was like, it's like that kind of goes. It's kind of appropriate for this week with all the with the field trip yesterday.
So I'm like, I'm wondering if like somebody made it a holiday because of all the times that people go on field trips getting closer to winter break.
Maybe.
Frustrated. Because it is. And it's sad. You know what's sad is like you get those field trips and then you get some parents that roll in there and you're like, dude, you make it worse. You're the adult. Stay with the group. Don't take your kid.
Y'all went to 2 spots yesterday for your field trip?
Today.
Oh, today?
Missions. We went to 2 of the missions downtown, like Mission San Jose and Mission San Juan. So
okay.
They were in the same area, but it was just like it was one of those things like you don't realize until the end of the trip. I mean, obviously because it happened at the end of the trip. But like when he's like, we got 33, and I'm like, dude, we didn't start with 33.
Is that 2 classes worth or what?
Class and a half each. So there was a class and a half on one bus, class and a half on the other. Which I'm like, why did? Like,
oh, okay.
So I'm like, whatever, that's fine. But it was just like when he was like, yeah, there should be 33, and I'm like,
what?
And I'm like thinking, okay, there's 2 adults for 30 something kids and 2 adults for 30. I'm like, did we have everybody? Because like what happened? Like at one point, and it made me like freak. Like, oh, am I gonna get in trouble for this? Because at one point, we're walking past like the last part of the little thing, and there's a restroom and a water fountain. And some of the kids are like, we're gonna get some water real quick, and I'm like, sure, whatever. And the teachers just keep on truck it on like with the rest of the kids. And then one of those kids out of like the 5 or 6 that stopped for water, one of them was a girl. And she's like, I'm gonna use the restroom. And I'm like, oh, like okay, like I can't go in there and sweep the room. Like it's a girl restroom. I can't do that one.
Yeah.
And they're just going, and I'm like, nobody's slowing down. So we're like a good 100 yards behind the group, and I'm like watching the kid go. I'm like, go get like, watching the peripheral. Like the rest of the kids watching this one go to join the group, send in the next one, and I'm just like, oh. You don't know how many started on our bus. How many started on the other bus? Are we losing kids? And is everybody gonna make it home today, or am I gonna get back to work tomorrow? And they're gonna be like, hey, we lost one.
But I also we were taking a bathroom break, but I was getting everybody by the wall, right, to do the bathroom, and I got one little kid. He likes to do a lot of his own stuff, right, and so when he doesn't listen, I just guide him by his elbows. Well, he started the last couple of weeks. The same kid I told you last time, I like got carrying him almost because he'll go limp on me. But he was like fighting with me because he didn't want to leave the little spot we were at. And I got these parents around where all the other kids are, and here I am kind of not restraining him, but I'm like trying to help him. And he's like wiggling on me, kind of fighting what I'm doing. I'm trying to count all the other students, and every time I start counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then some of them would move around somewhere else to stand next to a friend. And I started counting again, and they kept moving. And so I got a little chippy with them. I was like, hey, y'all got to stop moving. Right? And in my head, I'm like, oh, crap. The parents are seeing me. Hope they don't think I'm chewing them out. But what that mom I was talking to today, she told me she thought she wanted to yell at the kids because they wouldn't stop. They wouldn't stop moving. But I had to get on like, y'all got to stay still because I got to count everybody. Make sure we got everybody. And the whole time, like I said, I'm holding this one kid. And I was just like, man, these parents, I don't even know what they're thinking. But anyway, it's also National Regifting Day, Joey. So keep that in mind with any gift you get you don't like. You're like, let's give this to so and so. I think I'm thinking this year about getting gag gifts for the family. Just getting something silly.
I've never regifted. I've like never used some of the things that I've gotten, but like I've never regifted.
You're like, from Santa. Here you go. Boop.
They're like, what is it? It's got your name on it. You're like, oh, does it? Oh, okay.
You're like, because I got the same one. I put it in the same box or whatever. Santa just knows. Yeah. So, teacher Christmas parties. Am I right? We just had it. It was kind of, we always do the go to the restaurant, eat whatever, and then we bounce somewhere, do our little after party get together. And I didn't want to hang out late, but when we went to the after party, like I go to the bathroom, and the place you went to, I think we talked about this before. I like you have to. Well, you don't have to pay to go to the bathroom, but I don't like it as a guy because I go to the bathroom and there's someone there that's like to give you soap and turn the water on, and then I feel bad, and so it's like I tell the teachers always laugh at me. It's like I hate going here because I feel like I got to give the guy money, and they're like, you don't have to, and I was like, what? He looks at you. I feel bad. He's like a puppy. But
Like honestly, places like that, I'm just like I'm not washing my hands.
uh,
I'm like, it
um,
is what it is.
that's
Nobody's
what
gonna
they
know.
said. That's what they said too. They're like, you should just walk by him. But so I go when I leave the bathroom. Um, somebody else that used to work with us that had gone to another school, he showed up, and I was like, well, now I got to hang out a little bit because I haven't seen him in a while. And then this next time I was trying to leave, somebody else bought me a drink, and I was like, nuts. I was like, now I got to stay back a little bit more. So I ended
Peer,
up getting home a little later than I wanted to, but I was like, yeah, whatever. But it
peer
always
pressure.
happens.
You succumb to the peer pressure, man.
I don't know, but I didn't finish the last beer. How about that? At least walked away from that.
Just
Yeah,
saying.
teachers were like, they're playing games with Jello shots and stuff at that place. So it's just like, man. I actually was surprised the next day I was fine. I was just tired. Like I slept in, man, because I didn't get home till and go to bed till close to 2 or
This
whatever.
was this was this past week.
Yeah, this is Saturday, so it was Sunday morning. I woke up
So
late.
you woke up fine
Yeah,
because you don't sound fine.
well, I didn't have this going on Sunday. Like I said, this didn't
Just
start till like
it probably
Tuesday or
took root.
Wednesday, man.
It took root on Sunday,
It took root on Sunday.
and you were like, "I'm fine," and they were like, "No, you're not.
I got this.
Not
I got.
today."
Let me move number 4 to a later day. So so I don't know how your schools are or your district, but my
Yeah.
district student withdrawal, not the drug, right, or not from drugs, but student withdrawal is like a major thing at school. I had one of my students who withdrew like a day before we went on the field trip, and I'm like, okay, I guess they want to go to IDEA, but she's pretty low too, so I would be surprised if she's back, at some point.
Yeah. I mean, where we're at is not as big of a deal, but the thing I feel bad for those kids though, man. Like when the parents pull them out, and then they're back
Yeah,
like 3 days later, and you're like, and they're like, "Where were you at?" They're like, "Oh, we just had to go do this for a little bit." And the kids are always honest with you, and it's like, oh, hopping, apartment hopping, and whatnot.
oh, okay. So I know that every kid that I've seen at my school that goes to IDEA or a charter school, when they come back, they're low. They're like a lot lower than they left. I mean, I said this before, and no offense to like IDEA and stuff like that, but I don't think they get a great education there.
I I think they just kids that can hack it
Yeah,
stay, and the kids that can't, they kind of weed out. And so, like, I'm like, yeah, that's why your numbers are better because you don't keep everybody.
exactly. So then my last topic here before our break. So I've been having a lot of appointments lately because I'm trying to get my VA disability thing going. Um, so I just like some days are kind of the worst. Like when you feel sick, like I don't know how you are, but I feel like I have to be like super super sick to be like, yeah, I'm taking a sick day and staying home
Well,
because
yeah,
it's more work to like not be there. I got to make sub plans, print stuff out, and then the kids always try and take advantage of the subs. Like I missed last Friday because I had stuff to do, and I come back in and yeah, we always do Fun Friday, and I left something to do for Fun Friday. Well, I was like, they watched a movie, and I was just like, well, that wasn't in the plans. And and then I was just like, man, I wonder how bad they were. I know my teachers told me when we went to the specials in the morning, the teacher had two of my kids in her hand because I guess they couldn't. They had to be by the teacher, because they weren't doing well in line. They were goofing off or hands on or something. And I was just like, I felt bad for the sub because it's like I've been there before too. It's hard to get a hold of these kids, like get a hold of their attention or get them to respect you because they're like try and walk all over you. But
yeah,
you just gotta be tough with them. That's the thing.
yeah. I mean, So one thing that's unfortunate. I mean, it is what it is. I remember reading a statistic. They said that like on average, like the average student in public school will have something like a year's worth of their education will be with a substitute teacher.
From kinder to 12th grade, things like that.
Yeah, and I'm just like, dang man, that's a lot of
Yeah,
time.
and what always sucks is like for me is I still like know the sub personally. Like when I was subbing, teachers knew me, so they knew I could teach whatever they needed to teach, right? But I don't know some of these subs, so it's like I do a lot of review stuff when I'm not there because I don't want to give them new things because I don't know if they're gonna be able to handle it, you know.
Yeah,
And so like that's just another thing. Then that kind of if you have to do review, it kind of pushes you back in your personal like your lesson plan timeline. You know what I mean? So it's just like I said, I don't like it when I'm not there because it's just like I said, more work for me. Drop something.
no, I took the bottle cap and I moved it over, and like I just kind of placed it on the little magic board for the iPad,
Uh huh.
and it sticks. It's magnetic. I didn't know that.
Oh,
I was like, oh,
you didn't know the bottle cap was magnetic?
I didn't know the iPad thing was magnetic. I know the bottle cap is magnetic. I'm not that stupid. I'm
All
like,
right,
what? What is this liquid in the bottle?
man. You're like, I'm doing science, Chandler. Watch
Listen to
this.
me. Horty dorty door in 3D.
It's my favorite Muppet right there, dude. By Swedish Chef.
And he only does that I know. I don't know if he does anything else. But it's just funny because he just and throws stuff in the air and you're like, what? That
You
and
know
the
what?
two old.
Oh yeah, I forget their names right now. But you know what's cool about the Swedish Chef is it's a puppet face, but it's got human hands. You know?
Does he?
Yeah, you gotta watch it. We got like human hands, so
I'm gonna have to go
so
back and check.
that looks silly too because it's like those hands aren't real. Or those hands are real, I should say. They're not
I
a
love
puppet.
I like him. I like the two old guys. And dude, I don't know if it's like an insurance commercial, I think. I don't even know. But it's like an insurance commercial, and it's got like a couple, and they're like, yeah, we love the and they're like, we love the neighborhood, and the husband's like, yeah, the neighbors are observant though, and it's like
Oh,
it's supposed to like the husband and wife, and they're like all like sportscasters, and
yeah,
they're all douchebag about it, like they're like, oh, if only they would clean up the leaves. And she's like, I never pegged these two for yogis, and he's like, I still don't.
yeah.
So
No, but if you like the Muppets on Disney Plus, right?
yeah,
They have the show. It was called The Muppets, not The Muppet Show, but it's The Muppets, and
yeah,
it was on ABC. It was probably about 10 years ago, but it's like it was like a show behind the show. Like would do like a late night show for like Piggy,
yeah,
but it was like how they did the stuff behind the scenes because they all worked at the show, like getting up ready for the episode, and
yeah,
they did it it was like the humor is adult humor, right, with Muppets, right, but and then they did it kind of like a Modern Family Office thing where like they're talking to the camera a lot, there's no
yeah.
laugh track, but like I rewatch it every now and then because I loved that show, and it's like you're like it's the Muppets, I know, but it's like it's not for kids. It's not like they're not racy. It's not like
It's on it's on
it's not
Disney Plus.
it's on Disney Plus. You just look up the Muppets, but
I'll
like it's
check it
just
out.
hilarious. The band is hilarious. They're like half of them. They talk about in the show how they're like all druggies, right?
Yeah,
They kind of reference it without saying it, and it's just funny because they acknowledge it and everything. But all right, dude, let's take a quick break, right?
so good.
Welcome back, sir. Toast around the world time. Unfortunately, didn't get to add yet another country, but hoping that's coming soon. As always.
We're plateauing.
I don't know. All right, you ready to? We'll say them one by one. Couple sips. All right, Germany. What do we say?
Prost.
Roast. South Korea.
Gunbay.
Gunday. Brazil.
Saudi.
Saudi. England.
Cheers,
Cheers,
mate.
mate. Australia.
Cheers,
Cheers,
mate.
mate. French Canada. Asante.
Did we skip Barbados? Didn't we?
Oh, I'm sorry. Barbados.
Cheers.
Cheers. Sorry, Barbados.
I know. I was like, wait a second. Wow.
I'll go back again. French Canada. Asante.
Asante.
Regular Canada. Cheers,
Cheers.
you hoser. Colombia.
Salud.
Philippines.
Tage.
Norway. Skål.
Bottoms up. I say it's still pretty good. I mean, it is what it is. Like we're still a fledgling podcast, really. I mean, second season, and I mean we're kind of around. Like I think I'd have to look at a globe again, but I think like we could legitimately say the sun never sets on our podcast.
That is, that's a good point there, especially having the some of the countries in Asia and some of the countries in Europe. I mean, yeah,
Right.
Mike. Yeah, and not India. Cool if you had India though. But
we're like the British Empire of podcasts, even though I'm sure other podcasts are like that too.
That sounds like a good short right there. Us on a sailing ship back then. Be like, we got our empire growing. So I got more stuff in the works. I'm trying to do about 2 this weekend to release one and have another ready to go. And then whenever we get together, record 1 or 2.
Do like a Chris Columbus themed one where it's like we're like racing against him at our podcast.
Oh, like the almost heroes when they raced against Lewis and Clark.
Yeah.
All right, dude. I need your Robin Leach voice. We're gonna do TripAdvisor Canada style. You got this?
Stuff? Holy crap!
Well, it's 5 things. You don't have to you need to read the highlighted parts at least.
Oh. Okay.
All right.
I see what I can do.
All right.
Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, as well, when we're going to Canada, beaver has been the national animal of Canada since 1975. At least settlers realized the spice trade wasn't working, so they traded beaver fur instead. Today, the beaver is protected by conservation.
You sound dirty right there, dude.
The beaver is protected.
Yeah.
Canada has its own. I think that's a fun time after dark, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Canada has its own phone number. What is? The country has its own phone number?
You gotta read it, man. Yeah.
The official phone number of Canada is 1-800-O-Canada. The phone number gives various information for locals and travelers. Recently, it's been used for COVID information. Hawaiian pizza was invented in Canada by a Greek. Sam Panopoulos came up with the idea in 1962 to attract customers to his Ontario restaurant. He tried many experiments, but Hawaiian pizza won. That's Jack.
I just think it's funny that Hawaiian pizza wasn't invented in Hawaii. It was invented in Canada by someone that wasn't Canadian. It was by someone who was Greek. It's just like, okay.
I mean, that's all sorts of messed up right there.
Yeah.
What's that all about? Canada fun fact, Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus are Canadian. Canada issued them passports, tax records, and exemptions to the tax code, giving Santa freedom to pay his elves in cookies and holiday cheer. And last but not least, a term used by Canadians, is a real word in the dictionary. The definition is used to ask for confirmation. Yeah, I can't see the best part of that thing.
Yeah, sorry about that. That's the next thing. Used for confirmation or repetition to express inquiry.
I got a lot of inquiries to that next slide you got right there.
So I found out they said Canada also likes to name cities with funny names, right? So I happen to find this. There's a place called Dildo Harbor, right? Managed by the Harbor Authority of Dildo. So, I guess Canadians, would you say it's a dry sense of humor? But they're pretty. A lot of Canadians come from Canada. They like to be funny people, I guess you have to have a good sense of humor to live in the cold.
we took a running leap and just jumped into like the fun times hour after dark with that one.
Well, it's not my fault they named their city that.
Oh, like what? What's your part? You pointed out though, eh?
Yeah.
Eh? What's
Hey,
that
you
all
hoser.
about?
Just being honest. Just being honest, eh? Hoser. All right. Let's go to the next slide. All right. The last part here. Hadn't done our word of a day thing in a while. Have you ever had teacher brain, sir? It's what I call when you're so exhausted from everything in the classroom that you make silly, stupid mistakes out of the classroom. Like a good example for me is a few years ago. I was so tired. I had my dad's truck. I was refilling it up, and it only takes diesel. And it took me about I think I put like a gallon in of regular before I realized oh crap. I was like, I shouldn't be doing this. But I wasn't thinking straight. I got it all fixed, but I was like, whoa. So that ever happened to you where you're just like out of it, like mentally?
Yeah, I don't know if it's been because of work or whatnot though.
Oh, yeah, I've been exhausted by teaching that much. You got your other stuff going on.
Probably did some stuff. Just nothing comes to mind right now.
I can tell you a lot of teachers, like a teacher bringing me got me this morning when I thought it was Friday and it was Thursday.
Yeah.
But all right, that's our
So
time to wrap it up and give our social media plug. I'll do it this time. Please make sure to check us out at Choey Njancy, the letter Njan. We're on X, used to be Twitter. We're on Threads, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. By the way, when I put up this episode, I got to put up last week's episode. I had it all done. I was like, I'm gonna put it Saturday, and then got sidetracked and everything like that.
fired.
I know, and well, that's
TikTok.
all. On TikTok. I was trying to think of any other social media that I was trying to kind of work on. It'd still be nice one day, even though it's not gonna do anything, to be on MySpace again, just to be like, yeah, we got a MySpace account. Then we get an AOL. We can get an AOL website or email address. Yeah, and be like, yes, we're living in the '90s still.
Like you look back on that stuff and it's like, geez, man. Like I remember spending like an hour at a time, like trying to get like my MySpace to look cool, like have a cool song playing and have like all the different crap. And now it's like that website kind of sucked.
Well, it's nowhere near as good as what was going on with Facebook and everything. Because I guess Facebook is all about connecting. MySpace, a lot of times you message people, but I guess you were kind of showing yourself. Once I figured out how to do it, I remember you talked about your song. I would do like a playlist, and you could have it set up where I guess it would auto play and somewhere it wouldn't. So man, every time you logged in my thing, music's playing, and maybe you didn't want to hear it, but I was just like, that was my thing. I was like, I want all this music on there. It's not like everyone listened to it anyway, but
Yeah,
it's what
it's
it
just
is.
crazy. It's interesting the way that technology has gone.
Yeah.
Because you think about all the crap. Like I remember for the longest time, I don't know, like I would love to say that I'm an early adopter with stuff, but I definitely am not. Like I was like, text messages is stupid. It's not gonna be a thing.
Yeah.
But for the longest time I refused to like put music on my phone.
Yeah.
I would just whenever I go to the gym, I would always have my iPod. I'm like that way I could stay away and I can unplug from the world. And now I'm like, moron, why do I have to have an iPod? Why can't I just have a phone the whole time doing whatever, the same thing?
Well, part of me it slowed me down and stuff like that is I didn't want to get a computer until it was after I left Hawaii. So the whole time I was in Hawaii on the Navy, I didn't have my own personal computer, and then we were out. I was there 4 years, and I was gone like 2.5 years anyway, like total. But it wasn't until I got to Illinois, and I was about 26, and I was like, I need to get my own computer, because I didn't grow up with one at home. So
Yeah.
we talk about how stuff's different. I know we like to bring up Nate Bargatze because I think we both like him as a comedian. He did one. I think it was when he hosted Saturday Night Live. He was doing a stand up talking about how he's I'm from the 1900s,
Yeah.
it's just saying how things were different like when we grew up. I mean, we grew up in the 80s, early 90s, depending on our formative years. I said, yeah, we didn't have cell phones. It was pagers, for a while.
Ugh,
I'd have a computer at home. Now everybody has a computer at home, right? They'd have
yeah,
cable for the longest time. It was like 5 channels, 4 or 5 channels to choose
dude, the
from.
pager thing. I still kick myself that like I'm like, dude, when we got the JJ, the King of Beavers, and it was like a struggle to pay the $10 a month for the pager bill.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, God, if that was my only bill now is $10 a month, I would be so excited.
Yeah, I think I've said it to you before. If we were in high school now, I don't, I don't think we could ever leave home because like we never gas is a lot more expensive than it used to be.
Yeah,
Remember we'd go. Remember us four would go like to San Antonio and do whatever, and we'd be like, oh, let's take separate cars because we didn't all want to drive together. Some of us wanted to drive ourselves,
yeah.
just so we felt cool about driving. Well, now it'd be like we have to carpool, right? And you'd have to be. I don't think we pulled money a lot to get gas back then anyway. It's just kind of just like, oh, I got gas, let's go. But
Well,
now
dude,
we
I
do
feel,
it.
and I think like it's like it seems crazy like trying now, like try to organize something, but like, hey man, let's go meet up here. I'll go meet you, whatever. I'll text you when I'm there.
Yeah,
And I'm like, how the how in the did we coordinate meetups then? Like we didn't have phones, we didn't have pagers, and like we would all just meet up at somebody's house. Like we just
I think
knew,
a
hey,
lot of times what I remember is like, hey, I want to do something, and I just like drive to your house, right?
yeah,
Because there was like one time that Tharp came to my house. He's like, hey, I want to do something. All right, let's go find Joey, right? So we just
yeah,
went to your house, right? So he's driven to my place, and I drove him to your place, and they're like, hey, let's go do this, and then we're like, yeah, and on the way, we'll knock on Marsha's door, And that's kind of like how it went, and it was like I
yeah.
said, it was
It's like
crazy.
you text stuff, and it's still. I feel like it's less organized now than it is back then. Like, and we could go roll it. Like I was telling my wife the other day. Like I passed up the spot where the Golden Corral was, that we're right there at Wurzbach, and I was like, yeah, it's crazy. We
Uh,
come in here and like you have $20. We go to
yeah.
the mall, hang out, go to
Oh
Golden
yeah.
Corral, go get a movie ticket. It's like $20 for the night.
Yeah. And that or we'd go to like Taco Bell Border Town and eat, and then go to the game part. Right? That was like our excitement for the way. Hey, we had food, and we played games. Then we
You were
might do
obsessed
something.
with trying to get that basketball record. What belongs
Yeah,
to
I
that?
know. I was trying to get my name on the thing. I wanted to be able to type ASS in the screen. I was here. Woo.
I wonder if that place is still open.
I don't know. I think I got the record when we were at the mall. Was it Central Park Mall? That one mall that was like in between. It's like I-10 and 410, or yeah, or
Oh,
yeah,
Crossroads.
Crossroads. There you go. But that mall was kind of um because I don't remember there being a lot there. We'd go there and there was like
It was like
we didn't walk around those stores. It's
it was
like
like the arcade and the Sam Goody, and that was it.
yeah, and it's just like oh okay we were here, but no, I mean what stuff we did back then is just we had to leave hometown. There's nothing to do in the hometown.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is what it is. But next week, live version, first time season 2, we get together live.